Welcome, risers. It's that time once again for the Agent Rise podcast. I'm your co-host, Neil Mathweg, joined by Mindi Kessenick. Today, we continue our conversation with YouTube 101 and how to build a YouTube channel that converts. And today, we want to give you 5 steps, the kind of the roadmap to building your YouTube channel, and may feel like you're climbing a mountain, right? When you look at the idea of building a YouTube channel, that's a lot, and it is, right? It is. But today we want to give you the steps to building your first YouTube video and getting that channel off the ground. And I want to start the conversation out with talking with Mindi here about, that mountain. When you started your YouTube channel, did you feel like you were climbing a mountain, or what did it feel like? And how have you started to step into building that channel?
It 100% felt like climbing a mountain, but how do you climb a mountain, right? You take one step and then you take another step. And that's really where I'm at right now. And that's where I also coach my team you just got to start. You don't have to have everything perfect. It goes back to 100% of what you have always coached is don't wax the car when the transmission is broken. And I still to this day don't have a fancy camera. I don't have a fancy microphone. I have my iPhone 12 and that's what I use. And every week or not every week, let's be real, every maybe month or so, I add something more. I look into one more thing, or I try to improve it. Just, I take that next step.
And today we want to start to give you those steps. We have 5 steps, and I'm going to go over them really quick, and then we'll break them down. The first step is keyword research. The second is scripting. The third is recording and editing. The fourth is thumbnail, and the fifth is posting and descriptions and caps, all that good stuff. So let's start out with keyword research. And when it comes to keyword research, I think a lot of us, we tend to overthink this. We need to understand that in the beginning, we need YouTube to recognize us as living in and moving to your city. When somebody types in living in Madison, Wisconsin, Mindi comes up because Mindi has 10 videos that all match those keywords. Mindi also has videos that have the moving to Madison, right? So really, really focusing in on these keywords and, putting out a video of how to buy a house doesn't reach those keywords, right? The cost of living in Madison does reach those keywords.
Yeah. And you always told me that I needed to geek out over these things. And I was like, no, I don't like, what is TubeBuddy like that? It freaked me out. But now that, like I said, I'm a few steps into this, it does get exciting,
Yes,
to play around with the titles and, really kind of learn more and more about it. But, again, as long as you have the keyword that you have to have in every single one of your videos is your city and state. Yes. At least start there, because that was one mistake I made. I made a few videos and I didn't even have those in the title because I didn't understand that at the time, and I didn't have TubeBuddy and all these things. So if you're not ready for TubeBuddy, just make sure you use your city and state.
That's it. And you got to step into understanding the avatar of the person that you're trying to reach, right? The person that is moving to your city is the person that's researching your city and wanting to learn more, right? So you have to understand, what is that avatar searching for? Not the content that you want to put out, right? It's what are they searching for, and what is it that you can stand in front of that search and provide them with information and be that guide. What are those words?
Yeah. And it also has to be a little bit congruent to you, or maybe a lot of it congruent, because yes. I've tried that as well, where, I'm like, okay, I just have to do this. And it's heavy in statistics and memorizing. And then I'm like, I look like a robot on, my channel, which is not who I want to show up to be, as we talked about last week. Yes. And so you have to find the things that the audience is looking for, but it also has to feel authentic to you, or you're going to either not get that video out or you're going to suck at it.
Right, right. This is a good point, Mindy. You brought up this switch that you had in your mindset around the thought of what videos you should be putting out. Can you explain that and that kind of that aha moment you had?
Yeah, it really unlocked me because I had like creator's block or whatever you want to call it for, I mean, a solid month. I think I didn't put a video out, and it wasn't because I wasn't trying. I just was trying to fit my video into a box that just was not me at all. And so what I did is, I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. And so I flipped the script on myself because what I think that I went into a lot of my, planning, my content planning sessions of like, what do I know about Madison, Wisconsin that other people should know? And I flipped it and was like, well, if I were going to move to Naples, Florida, what would I want to know about Naples, Florida? And so I started to really just flip that whole script about like, it's not about me and what I know. It's about what the consumer, what the buyer, what my audience, what do they want to know about Madison, Wisconsin? And so just flipping that mindset about it's not what I know, it's about what they need to learn. And then figuring out, like having a couple buckets really helps. One of the things is like unique to Madison is that we're surrounded by like these amazing suburbs that have incredible schools. And so, and part of the reason I got to that is I started also looking at what questions do I get on YouTube? And it didn't necessarily align with the things that I wanted to tell or those quote unquote videos that I thought that I had to do. And so I just, and I think when you do that and when you look at it that way, it makes it more exciting and fun. And that's when the videos are going to start to flow.
It's
And that's when
so
you're going to have like
Yes,
consistency.
yes, because you're answering their questions and you're understanding the avatar, you're understanding
Yeah.
what they need and you're giving them what they need and they love you for it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about what you know, but it's about what they're looking for. That is so good. I'm like bubbling with excitement here because this is all about just knowing your audience. I've talked about it multiple times where in producing the Agent Rise podcast, you have writer's block, but then as soon as you hear from members and from everybody that you're coaching, you never end with the content because you're just providing, they're asking the questions and you're answering them. So if you look at it this way and kind of like be a tourist in your town, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I came back to Madison after RVing for a couple of years, I was like, because I was a tourist in so many other cities that my mindset was I was like a tourist. So I would go into Madison, Wisconsin, the city I grew up in and love. I came into it like a tourist, like, and so have that mindset, how to look at your city differently and what are the people that are moving in, what are the questions they're asking, and then get really good at answering those questions.
Yeah. It just comes down to getting really curious about your own city. And for me, it helped me to get curious about other places. And then I kind of flipped it into my own city. Like, so if you're like, well, I'm not curious about my place because I've lived here my whole life and whatever, like that's what really helped me to get over that is just like I started getting curious about other places. And one thing too, I realized one of these videos I was trying to do that just felt so forced that I tried for an hour and a half and I could not get this video out because it felt too forced. And it was about the new developments like in Madison's skyline. And then all of a sudden I was driving through downtown and I'm seeing these buildings pop up that were in this list that I was going to be talking about. Well, now I'm actually excited about that because I'm seeing them. I'm understanding like where they are and what community they're going to serve and all of this stuff. And so all of a sudden now I'm chasing that wonder and I'm curious about it. And I could go back and that putting out that video would look a lot different because I'm genuinely curious in my own city. And so I hope that's hitting the mark. Like it really comes down to anything else. Like you don't want to just go on YouTube and just be like talking to people or reading this script. Like get excited and curious and really figure out what the people on the other side of that screen are looking for. Like what do they want to know? And I think you can like really kind of drudge that up by getting curious about other cities that then translates into like, well, what does that look like in my city?
And you know the audience and you know what they're searching for, understand what people are searching for, know what answers they're looking for. There's a website called Answer the Public. Go there, type in your city and ask find out what are people asking about your city? What questions do they have? And then put the videos out there to answer them. And know the difference. Know what's different about your town versus another town. I'll give you an example of this. We just moved to Fort Myers, Florida. We homeschool, but we pay attention to when school starts, and we go accordingly to that. Where we're from in Wisconsin, school starts after September 1st. Well, down here, school started August 8th. So what does that mean? The first year that we move here, our kids typically they lost 22 days of summer and they counted that, right? Because they had to start school 22 days earlier than their friends back in Wisconsin did. And so there is a difference there. So know the difference. What's different in your market than other markets? So, if somebody's moving into Madison, they may be used to starting school on August 8th. And we don't start school until September 1st in Wisconsin. That's different, right? So know what's different about your community and your area than what people are used to.
And you do that by getting curious. Like, oh, I wonder what this topic looks like in Florida or in Arizona or wherever. Or maybe it's just like a different region of the country. Like, I wonder what that looks like. Is this normal? Like, I recently put out a YouTube short and I was like, is pull tabs at the bar, is that a normal thing? Or is that just something that we do? Because I was actually curious. I'm like, it's kind of weird that every time we go to this local bar in our community, that we give our kids money to put into this machine that spits out pull tabs, and we're like teaching them to gamble at like 11. Is this
as we're
normal?
Drinking our old fashions.
As we're drinking our old fashioned, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, is this normal? And it literally,
all Wisconsin.
Yeah, that is Wisconsin in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this normal? And it's because I got curious and I started asking those questions that I was able to put out. I don't know. I thought it was funny content. Maybe nobody else did, but it helps.
Yes. Well, and I hope you guys see how keyword research and how forming your videos around what people are looking for, the living in, the moving to, how to stand out with your keywords and get in the flow of those that are moving to your city. The next step in all of this is scripting. And I'm telling you, ChatGPT has made scripting a game changer. And I'm not saying you just go onto ChatGPT and say, write my script for me, and that's what you go record. No. You use ChatGPT to help you research, right? Start out with saying, I want to do a video around this. What are some ideas? And then you get the keywords ready, you get the script ready, the outline of it, and then you pour your passion into it. You pour your excitement into it. Mindi talking about pull tabs and Friday night fish fry. You insert those interests and those love for things in your scripts. And the other piece of advice that I want to give you around scripting is script your videos without scripting them. Meaning, have a script, have an outline, but when you're recording, don't read off of a script. I mean, I look at a script as an outline, and then I look at the camera and I talk to my people and I help them, and I'm not going to just read off of a script.
Which is why you have to pick topics and you have to make sure that the videos that you're putting out you're interested in, because that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make these videos of things that I thought I should do that I didn't really care about. And then if I didn't care about it, I couldn't remember what I was talking about. Like, you have to remember that you are the expert in your area. But so if something isn't really exciting to you, A, maybe it's not exciting to your avatar out there. And B, the content you're putting out they're not going to be interested if you're not interesting. Yes. And the reason I can get like my videos that do the best are the videos that like, I'm like, oh, I think this is interesting about my community and I'm excited about it. And that really translates through the screen and my energy and I'm able to talk off the cuff and not just read a script, word for word.
Right. Okay. It's such a great point, because what you're doing is you're setting the framework up with the keywords and you're understanding what people are searching for, but you're bringing your passion, your love, your creativity into the content. So the outline of the content in itself may look really boring to you, right? Like, I mean, I don't really like talking about traffic so much, right? However, I do have some things that I do like about Madison and certain ways that the traffic works. And there would be little things that I would want to share about that traffic, right? So there's like, we live in it, we're there, we have our own ideas around it, but let the framework of the video help you move along. The third thing, and this is the big one, and we are going to do all next week on this, so we're not going to spend much time on it right now, but is recording and editing. Your next step in the process, you've got your framework for your keyword research, you've got your scripting. Now it's time to get recording and editing. We have helped a lot of agents break through in this area because we have one suggestion, and I want to put it on this episode here, is to get in the studio, remove the friction. Going out and recording out and about makes it only more difficult on you. If you get out there, it's too windy, too rainy, too sunny, too whatever it is, that then delays you in getting a video done. And when you get in a studio and you sit in front of a camera and you just plug and play, you got your scripting done, you're ready to go, you hit record and you're in a studio, let the B-roll give the flavor, right? Let the B-roll tell the story, let the videos outside tell the story, but you run and gun and get right into the studio and record.
Yeah, that's really the only way that you're going to be able to kind of control your consistency. Because and I've gotten B-roll. When I did a video on like my favorite summer things to do, and throughout the summer it was kind of fun, like to collect my own B-roll, and I think that can add some flavor, but certainly I don't have that expectation for myself every video. Like that was kind of a one-off, and I still ultimately was just in my studio recording and the talking head, and then I was able to kind of share this fun B-roll that I collected to my editor. But if you have to rely on the weather and your schedule and all of these outside factors, your consistency is going to go way downhill.
Yes. I'll never forget, it was back in the day I was going to do neighborhood videos, and I had two different people that I was going to interview from the neighborhood. I had all this things set up, and I had all of it I wanted to do outside. I wanted to do it in the neighborhood. I created all of this friction and never got the videos done. I paid thousands of dollars to start to put the production together, but never completed it because I had too much friction. Looking back on it now, I would have recorded the whole video in my studio. I would have gone out and gotten a couple B-roll, a couple interviews. If I could have used them in, maybe not, but the video itself would have been done. And I'm telling you guys, this is what helps people break through. We talked about it when we had Michael Caraway on Breakthrough Week, because that led to his breakthrough, was him doing that. And Michael's just one of many agents inside Agent Rise that are breaking through because of how we're recording and editing videos. And again, we're going to talk more about this in part 3 next week. So make sure you come back for that episode. The fourth thing is thumbnails. And thumbnails, I mean, I'm geeking out over thumbnails because thumbnails are everything. And once I heard Mr. Beast spends $150,000 per thumbnail, I thought, you know what? Thumbnails are that important that he I know, isn't that crazy? $150,000 per thumbnail. It's the amount of people that he hires, the amount of different images and split testing and advertising and all of the things that they do to figure out what thumbnail is going to perform the best. And so if Mr. Beast spends $150,000, I don't think I mind spending $5 or $10 on Fiverr for a professional. So I got a whole new YouTube videos coming out for Agent Rise, and I just hired off went to Fiverr and had my thumbnail produced, and night and day from what I would have done compared to what they did. And I used ChatGPT to help me decide what was on that thumbnail. I took my transcript from my video. I said, ChatGPT, what would be a good thumbnail for this? What are the words that it should be? It gave me a couple different outlines for words. I then asked it, what facial expressions should I give it for my photo that's on there? It said to have a curious look, and asked because the video was about why you haven't gotten comfortable on camera yet, and to look at the camera and ask, why haven't you started yet? And take a picture of that. And that's what my facial expression was. And I sent that over to the guy on Fiverr, and he sent me back this great thumbnail. Now, this is, thumbnails are important, and a lot of people are skipping over thumbnails. And the more competitive your market is, and you start looking at YouTube in the sense of thumbnails and stop looking at yourself, instead looking at how do you compete against the others. And the best place to do that is inside TubeBuddies, and click on the results, and you see all of the thumbnails right there. Now, how is your thumbnail standing out over others?
Once I started like actually contributing to my thumbnail, because at first I didn't, and they just put this like very, very professional picture of me with my name and phone number and like brokerage and all that stuff. Once I started contributing to what my thumbnail would look at, or once I started contributing to what my thumbnail would look like, it's actually a really fun part of the process. Like you kind of like get to just like be silly and really show your personality. And, you know, again, like it's got to be congruent to you. So this is an area that I think is really a fun way to just like sprinkle in a little bit of your personality. And I'm telling you, the more that your personality shows through, the more you're going to get matched up with buyers that are your people, you know?
That's it.
Like
That's it.
if they are looking for somebody who's always looking super professional in their leather jacket, like I was in my first one, like, well, that's not who they're going to get when we go to look at houses. They're going to, you know, if we're looking at a house on the weekend, I'm probably coming in leggings because I'm going on a hike or I'm coming from a hike. So, you know, like I want to attract my people, right?
Right.
And the thumbnail, I think, is a place that you can make it really fun and just make it very much authentic to you.
That's it. And it's really fun too when you send them off to Fiverr and the guy comes back with your thumbnail. It's like Christmas. It's like, ooh, what's it going to look like? And I was pretty impressed. If you want to see it, message me. I'll send you my thumbnail. I'll tell you what. Well, you'll see the YouTube video soon enough with that thumbnail on it. All right. So our last thing on the list here is number 5, and that is your posting and writing the description, the end cap, uploading it, uploading the thumbnail, uploading the video. There is in posting and writing the descriptions. I'm using ChatGPT, running my transcript through ChatGPT, saying, can you write the description? My title is already done because I worked on my title up at the top with my keywords, and my scripting obviously was already done. So a lot of it's just at the end, it's just plugging it all in. It's taking your thumbnail that you have, it's taking your video that's all edited and ready to go, uploading that, adding the title, the descriptions, the tags. I love using TubeBuddy for my tags to constantly figure out my tags. And then the end caps are what plays at the end of the video, and going in and setting that up so that the next video that you want people to see is set there and your subscribe button is set there. And then also anything else as far as cards go, if you want to add cards, those are the little things that pop up at the top. Like if you're mentioning, in one of your videos, you're mentioning about the weather in the area. Well, you might have a video that's on weather, and you could have the card up at the top pop up and show that link to that video about the weather. So you could go in and insert cards. You can also add chapters. Chapters, I would be using ChatGPT to write and ask me for my chapters, and then I would be going back and I would be plugging them in. Chapters is a lot of work. However, they are searchable. Your videos with chapters stand out. So it's a lot of work, but these are the things that you can go deep on and improve your videos. Or you can simply hire it out. Go find somebody on Fiverr. I'm sure it's probably $5 or $10 a video, and somebody could build chapters for you. So invest in your videos. That's what I'm saying here.
And don't be concerned if you don't know what chapters are, because you're in good company. I have no idea what he's talking about.
That's awesome. That's great. We'll get you there. That's awesome. And this goes to show you just how you can go 2.0 on everything, right? So we're talking 101 today, and we're helping you see the playing field. How can you begin building your YouTube videos? What are the steps to follow? And of course, come and join us inside Agent Rise. I mean, we got the course on this. We got helping agents build YouTube channels that convert, and we want to help you. So
And we've got discounted video editing inside of Agent Rise.
Yes. And we'll talk more. That's great. We'll talk more about that next week too, because next week we're going to continue the conversation about how to record videos, how to edit them. There's many different ways, all the way down to the DIY, all the way up to hiring a great artist that will help you edit your videos with excellence. So we're going to talk about all of that and much more. Thank you so much for listening to the Agent Rise podcast. And like always, remember to be the reason somebody smiles today.